Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We've got a special one here today. Usually when I sign off, I say Prost, which is German for cheers. Well, we're going to look at a special beer today, arguably one of the best beers in the world. And it's also Oktoberfest, at least in Germany. September 16th through, well, I've heard October 3rd through October 6th, but hey, what the heck, it's October. So all of this whole month, the rest of September and the rest of October, we're going to focus on October beers, Oktoberfest beers or fest beers or really anything like that. And we're going to start off today with a great one. And we're going to do it here on Okay, folks, so we're going to get right into this. I'm going to try to be as brief as I can because I got to tell you, this beer right here, this is the Celebrator from Ayinger Brewery in Germany, right outside of Munich. It's got a long history and a lot of things that are going on with this beer and a lot that we can learn about this beer. So we are going to look at it. We're going to go through a little bit of beer history coming up. We are going to bring that segment back for just this one right now because there's a lot that you could learn about Celebrator. And it is an October style. In fact, I've had it throughout the whole year, and you can get it just about anywhere. It's a wonderful beer, and I do suggest you try it if you haven't already. Celebrator. It is a finest Bavarian Doppelbock, or Doppelbock for that matter. It's from the Ayinger Brewery. From my understanding, it's like 25 miles south of Munich. I could be wrong about the distance, but nonetheless, it is a fantastic example. In fact, it's one of the world's most famous examples of a German Doppelbock. And it is indeed a German Doppelbock. It's not going to be one of the American ones. So we are going to do that. Remember, I promised that we would review more international beers versus just a local, regional, or United States beers. I am going to go through just a little bit of talk coming up here about the Doppelbock. I did want to make sure that you had a little bit of information. We are going to be reviewing it. We're going to be looking at what this Doppelbock has for us today. Again, it's a fantastic example of the Doppelbock. In fact, it is the leading example. And I'm trying to find a little bit here. I was looking this up because, well, yesterday I found this in a beer emporium, a true beer emporium, not a Walmart. And I thought, well, you know what? It's Oktoberfest. Why don't I do that? Why don't I go ahead and review this? Now, its name is Celebrator, okay, for someone who celebrates. Originally, the name was Salvator. Okay, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation in German, but what it says here, it says there were the monks that prepared this because monasteries used to brew beers. That's what their main function was at that time. Not only that, with religion. Special lager for the 8-day fest of the Holy Father. As an unusual beer, it was brewed with a thick wort, but left unattenuated and therefore sweet and only modest strength. Now, this is going to be a little bit higher strength. This is 6.5% alcohol. Doppelbocks, doppel, meaning double, are going to be strong. They're going to be very strong. And there are, well, we'll deal with that in another episode. The name was shortened version of the fuller title, Sankt Vater Bier, Holy Father Beer. So it was kind of a religious beer at that particular time. I'm not going to go through the whole history of it. You'll hear that coming up in the beer history. But I wanted to bring that to you in terms of exactly what we're looking at today. So, right now, I'm going to go ahead and give you that history before we get into the review. And we're going to hear it right now on
Beer Through History.
Bock beer, one of the most popular dark beer styles in Bavaria, first made by the monks of St. Francis of Paula by the 1700s. It has a very malty, still very dark, but much sweeter flavor. Doppelbocks are much like the imperial version of a stout, maltier, richer, and higher in alcohol by volume. The word Doppel means double in German. First brewed by Munich monks, Doppelbocks interestingly started out actually lower in alcohol content and considered liquid bread at the monastery. Expect deep chocolate, roasted toffee, and caramel sweetness from a bock. Some bocks can be styled as simply Bock, Einbock, Doppelbock, Maibock, Hellesbock, Weiss or Weizenbock, and Eisbock. Ayinger Doppelbock is an old style from the 1800s, usually supporting a block-printed goat on the label, Bock meaning goat. One neat thing to note is that you might find a bottle or two with a small plastic charm of a goat with the word Celebrator embossed on it as a keepsake. Look for those and save them. It's said to bring good luck. Brewed in Ayinger, Bavaria, Germany since 1877, Ayinger Brewery has had a long and celebrated history. It's won many competitions and is considered the premier of its style. And what about the ator suffix that seems so common, like optimator, maximator, animator? One of the most famous Bavarian bocks is, of course, Ayinger's Celebrator, originally called Salvator or Salvator, short for Sankt Vater Bier or Holy Father beer, brewed in the 1700s monasteries. Interestingly enough, Doppelbocks are mainly associated with the Lenten season, as they are rich and warming. However, Paulaner trademarked the Salvator moniker, and therefore Ayinger changed its name to Celebrator. Note that the ator suffix denotes Doppelbocks and, traditionally, only from Bavaria. You probably won't find any ator bocks brewed in America.
Okay, folks, so let's get into the review. How about it? What we have here, again, is our Celebrator, and it is in a, I can't remember, Vichy bottle? I believe that's what they call it. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what they do call it. Make sure my microphone's on. Good. Okay, because I want you to hear everything. I want you to make sure that you can hear the bottle cap coming off. Celebrator. Bavarian Doppelbock. Now, it's on a crown cap. It's not on a screw cap. It's obviously not a can. So you have to use a can opener. I don't have any can openers in the house. Yeah, my keychain has 4 of them on there. Trust me, I'm not going to go without. So let's go ahead and crack this Doppelbock open. Hopefully you heard that. I'll lay my cap aside, lay my bottle opener aside. Now, I'm drinking it out of this small 1/2 liter, Bavarian beer mug. I guess you would say a German beer mug. Again, it has a little line around the edge, a little kind of groove that tells you where to stop. And it should be glass proud. Now, I don't think I'm going to actually get all of this in there, but I'll do my best. It should be very, very, very dark. And it should have some good effervescence to it. It should have some good carbonation to it. Usually you're going to drink this out of a stemmed glass, like you would simply take a tumbler and glue it onto the end of a short stem, okay? But you don't have to. You can drink it really out of anything. I chose this one, first of all, because it has, I don't know if you can see it, has the little Munich symbol on there. Kind of looks like one of those little diamond-shaped symbols you'll see all over the place during Oktoberfest, the blue and white. It's very festive. I actually got this at a brewery local to me that has an Oktoberfest, and I've picked up this and the large one, I believe it's a whole 1 liter mug of Moss. I've picked up about 3 of them so far, and this year is going to be no exception. So I've picked up 5 of them, sorry. So this one's going to be no exception. I'm going to actually have the 6th one coming up. But I wanted to choose this one because it had the handle on it. Now I want to keep this cold. This is refrigerator temperature, kind of medium shelf, a little bit higher shelf. It's going to be so that you're going to have it, a little bit kind of cellar temperature, if you would. So let's go ahead and pour the beer. Now remember, we're going to judge this beer on the 5 categories of the Beer Judge Certification Program. That would be the aroma, the appearance, the taste, naturally, the mouthfeel, and of course, the overall impression. I don't think it needs to be said that this is going to be a very impressive beer. So let's go ahead and pour it. Again, I'm going to kind of pour it slightly off to the side there. Not too much. As you can see, you may see the foam coming in. I'm going to give it a little bit more of that nice pour, as if I'm pouring it out of the keg. Now it's bubbled up quite a bit, which is fine. I'm going to hold off on it for a second. Now, I will say, if you've never smelled a true German beer or a German brewed beer, once you do, you'll know it, and it's fantastic. It's a wonderful experience. We get the last little bit in there without overflowing. Yeah, we did. And as you can see, it wouldn't go all the way up to the line here. So, oh well, whatever. It's a great beer anyway, and a great glass. Now, we're going to smell this. We're going to see about the aroma. Oh, my goodness. Just a wonderful smell. Very malty. It's got a good toffee, not a burnt, but a very good sweet smell to it. And there's something about the water. There's something about the brewing. There's something about the malt. There's something about the hops that they use that it's a unique smell. It's a unique profile that you've just got to experience. That Czech Pilsners, German beers, anything lager, anything from Germany or Belgium or Holland or even England for that matter. These beers have a certain nose characteristic that really, when you smell them, you always know what it is. You always know that it's just going to be wonderful. Ah, lovely. And you get pictures of Bavaria. You get pictures of Munich when you smell this. Ah, malt, 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 malt. And it is dark, as you can see. Very, very dark. It's a Doppelbock. It's a double. And Bock loosely translates to goat, by the way, which is why they have a goat on the front. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the beer history. Let's have the appearance. Now, I can see through it. Let's say it would be about the color and about the consistency of Coca-Cola. Okay, so you pour Coca-Cola in here, it's going to come up and it's going to be very, very dark, but still it's going to be translucent. It's going to be clear. Okay, it's not going to be hazy. It's not going to be overly cloudy. It's going to be very clear because these were beers that were brewed months and months and months prior, sat, and they were unfiltered, but they still attenuated down. They clarified in the lagern, in the storage, usually caves. And so they clarified quite well. Okay. The foam on it is just amazing. It goes from really creamy, kind of mocha latte color to medium bubbles all the way up to larger bubbles. I see a little bit of Brussels lace appearing. Remember Brussels lace? That is the residue of the foam that is showing up on the edge of the glass. It kind of stays there. It's not a measure of the quality of a beer. I, again, have to say that, but come on. You're talking about a Doppelbock here that's just amazing, okay? The bubbles aren't receding very quickly. This lets me know that there's a lot of good sweetness in this beer. It is going to be a little bit on the sweet side. Now, it's not going to be tremendously sweet, but it is going to have a good mouthfeel for that sweetness, that good malty flavor to it. Again, this is, I would say, the highest rated Doppelbock, if not one of the highest rated beers in the world. Okay, that's arguable. A lot of people can say, nope, 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 there's a better one. Yes, you could be correct. And it's all a matter of taste, too, remember. So let's give it that taste. Let's go ahead and do our taste test. Uh, 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 mhm. Very sweet, Very sweet. The Bock, the way they did the lager and the way that they did the malting process, the color of the malt that they used, just the overall flavor, the toffee, a defined toffee, a little bit of smokiness, not smoky like you would be like a ham, but maybe like a little bit of a, not burnt, toasted. Toasted would be a great word there. Toasted flavor. So combine the style of hops that they have available, the malt that they have local, because everything's produced locally. All your malts produced locally. All of your hops are produced locally. The water comes from the area. I mean, that's how that's going to happen. And your brewmasters, they've had years and years and years of experience making sure that this beer is consistent. Consistency is very important in a beer. I could just eat this for breakfast. I mean, this is unbelievable. Okay. Naturally, I've had one of these before. Okay. This is no big surprise to me. And by the way, Ayinger is famous for having a number of different styles of beer. You have Bock's, My Bock's, Weissbock's. You have the Doppelbock here. You have an Ice Bock, E-I-S, Ice Bock. And what that is they'll take something like this, they'll freeze it, take the ice off of it, and it's a stronger, more concentrated beer. It's almost like concentrated orange juice. Okay, you have to add water back to it, but in this case, you don't. Anyhow, wonderful. I mean, oh, the toast in it, just the malty flavor, just it makes you want to cry. I would argue that it is probably one of Germany's best beers. Okay. Not really heavy hop on the front end. I will say this. Believe it or not only does it have a little bit of a toffee flavor to it, but there's a slight bit of fruity flavor to it, like a berry. That's just absolutely wonderful. Yes. Almost like a jam. Okay, almost like a jam flavor to it. It's wonderful. Anyhow, so the mouthfeel, it's not cloyingly sweet. It's not dry, but it is absolutely just an abundance of flavor packed right there in your mouth, your mouthfeel. You don't feel overwhelmed with it. You don't feel too much in the sense of, is it cloyingly sweet? But it does have a great mouthfeel. It's very enjoyable. Again, it's not heavy. Well, it's a little heavy, but it's not extremely heavy. It's not like drinking syrup. Okay. Yeah, I still do taste a little bit, just a very slight bit, almost like a raspberry. Now, it's not supposed to have any fruity flavors to it, but then again, hey, it lends to it. It actually pairs very well. Now, that being said, overall impression, I mean, come on. One of the world's most famous Doppelbocks or October beers. Ayinger, I mean, you can't beat it. The overall impression, I'm going to say it's like a 10 out of a 10. Five hops out of five hops. It is a beer that you're going to want to, get as a special occasion, as a celebration. But really, I love that. That carbonation is wonderful. Even the burp tastes good, and to me that's just fantastic. Anyway, so impression. If you can find it, and you can find it because it's sold all over America, go to your local beer emporium and grab a bottle of Ayinger. Okay. I wish I could show you the little goat. You probably saw that in the beer through history, but this one didn't quite have the little goat. Anyhow, in lieu of the beer specs, this is, of course, a Bavarian Doppelbock, 6.7% alcohol. SRM, I'm going to say, is pretty dark, 15 15, 14, 13. It's clear enough to see through, but to be quite honest, it's very, very, very dark. Other than that, yes, I would recommend this beer. Are you kidding me? I mean, please drink this beer. And now, well, folks, that's our review today of the Ayinger Celebrator. Now, I hope you learned something about the style of beer. Not only that, about Celebrator and the rest of the Oktoberfest style beers. Do want to say thank you for being with us. Remember, subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the like button. Let us know what you want us to show next. If you have a beer that you want us to review, if you've got a suggestion, if you got something else you want us to do, please let us know, because it helps us grow the channel, and everyone wants to grow the channel, right? I do want to mention, remember, the beer review logbook, $8.99 off of Amazon. You can't beat it. It's a fantastic book to be able to review your beers whenever you have them, especially this one. You got to write this one down, right? If you're in the upstate of South Carolina, remember the Upstate Ale Trail, or if you're in different areas, I believe they have the Ale Trail in different areas of the region, the Southeast, maybe North Carolina, maybe Georgia. I think I saw one out of Asheville. If you ever had a Total Wine, if you can find the Total Wine Total Guide to Beer, if they print this anymore, get one. This one's 12 years old. It's a little tattered. It is a fantastic guide. In fact, I'm going to be reading, or I should have read, about the Doppelbocks and the Bock style, the Oktoberfest style beers here from this book. I definitely want to say, remember to pull down the beer review, or actually the beer score sheet from the beer judge certification. All of these items here are in the links down below in the description. This is going to give you areas here to write your opinions or write your views or reviews on your own of your beers, as well as any off flavors that you might encounter. And especially in this case, this is in a nice dark brown bottle. It's kind of a greenish brown, but a nice dark brown bottle. The place that I got it from, I wish they had covered the windows a little bit more, because to me, if there's a lot of light coming in, especially outside light, it could off flavor the beer. But this one came out pretty well. I think it's a pretty well established little place. They have a lot of turnover. Anyhow, again, thank you. Subscribe, right? It should be here. Hit the notification, like the video, leave comments, download the products from the links down below. And I definitely want to say thank you. Happy Oktoberfest! Yes, I forgot all about it. But other than that, Prost, Chin Chin, Kanpai, Salud, and of course, from America, happy Oktoberfest. Cheers. Peace, love, and beer.